Ifetobore's laughter echoed through the small village square as she mocked another suitor who had dared to approach her. "Do you think I would ever marry a poor farmer like you?" she taunted, her beautiful face twisted in disdain. The young man, humiliated, walked away with slumped shoulders. Ifetobore prided herself on her beauty and her ability to attract men, but none were ever good enough for her. She often ridiculed women who married men of humble means, declaring that she would only marry a man who could provide her with a life of luxury. One evening, a stranger arrived in the village. He was impeccably dressed, his demeanor exuding wealth and sophistication. His name was Emeka, and his presence turned heads everywhere he went. The villagers whispered about his sudden appearance and speculated about his immense wealth. Ifetobore was immediately smitten, and her vanity only grew when Emeka approached her. "I've been searching for someone like you all my life," Emeka declared after only 2 days of knowing her. "Will you marry me, Ifetobore?" Ifetobore didn't hesitate. "Of course I will," she replied, her eyes gleaming with pride and excitement. She couldn't wait to flaunt her new fiancé to her friends, bragging about how she had finally found a man who would support her luxurious lifestyle. The wedding was a grand affair, with Emeka sparing no expense. Ifetobore's friends looked on enviously as she walked down the aisle in a gown fit for royalty. Her heart swelled with pride and satisfaction, believing she had finally secured her dream life. The first few years of marriage were everything Ifetobore had hoped for. Emeka showered her with expensive gifts, and their home was the envy of the village. But beneath the surface, a dark cloud loomed. One night, 6 years into their marriage, Ifetobore stumbled upon a hidden room in their mansion. Curiosity piqued. She entered and found disturbing artifacts and cryptic symbols. Her heart pounded as she realized she had uncovered something sinister. At that moment, Emeka entered the room. "Ifetobore," he said calmly, "you were never meant to say this." His eyes were cold and devoid of the warmth she once saw in them. "What is all this?" she demanded, fear creeping into her voice. Emeka sighed. "I am bound by an oath. To maintain my wealth and power, I must sacrifice my wife after 6 years of marriage and our children 2 weeks after their birth." Ifetobore's blood ran cold. "You're a ritualist," she whispered, the gravity of her situation crashing down on her. "I'm sorry," Emeka said, though his expression showed no remorse. "You have 2 weeks left. Make peace with it." Ifetobore's world shattered. She had mocked and scorned the humble suitors who had genuinely cared for her, only to end up in a nightmare of her own making. Regret consumed her as she thought of the life she could have had. Each passing day was a countdown to her doom. Desperation set in, and she tried to escape, but Emeka's reach was too vast. She was trapped, a prisoner in her own home. Her once vibrant spirit faded, replaced by a hollow shell of regret and fear. In her final days, Ifetobore sat alone, reflecting on her choices. She had been blinded by vanity and pride, and now she was paying the ultimate price. As the dreaded day approached, she could only hope that her story would serve as a cautionary tale for others who might follow her steps. The villagers never saw Ifetobore again after the 6th year. Whispers of her fate spread, but no one dared to confront Emeka. Her disappearance remained a grim reminder of the consequences of pride and superficiality. The end.